Assemblymember McCartney.
Yes, Mr Mayor, I'm glad that you said that you want to do all you can to stop discrimination against women in the workplace. And you'll be familiar today with the case of firearms officer Carol Howard, who has just won her claim against both sex and race discrimination against the Met. Arising out of that, and that's very close to home for you because you, of course, have oversight of the Met as chair of MOPAC, the tribunal found her claims were well-founded, but perhaps even more worrying is that they found that there seemed to be a process in the Met where, when there was a fairness at work complaint, if a finding of discrimination was made, and the officer had made a claim to an employment tribunal, there seemed to be a retrospective policy of deleting all references to that in the internal report so that it would appear it would not be disclosed in the legal proceedings that would follow. Now, that seems to me to be extremely worrying and in fact an appalling practice. And would you agree with me in that?
I totally. I was dismayed to read the account this morning of the findings in respect of Carol Howard. There's no doubt that there are lessons to be learned, and we in the MOPAC, will certainly be taking it up with the police to make sure that all the comments of the tribunal, which I agree do raise serious concerns, are properly addressed.
I think we need to go further than that because my colleague Andrew Dismore has done some digging on this over the past few months. And in a Freedom of Information response to him, the Met have said that internally in the Met, there have been 34 employment tribunal claims that had an allegation of racial discrimination. 30 of them, that's 30 out of the 34, were settled by the Met. So it does imply that the Met accepts in those cases there has been some element of truth. But yet,
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
But yet in those, it appears that only one officer has had a first written warning.
Okay.
So
let's be totally clear about. I think it's difficult to draw generalisations from this case. We live in an environment where, as everybody knows, in tribunal proceedings, it is customary now to slap in all sorts of grounds for grievance. That is just part of the way things work, and it is often cheaper, I'm afraid, for the defending party simply to settle, and that is a fact of life in today's system of government. So I'm not necessarily convinced that in the act of settling these cases, the Met has necessarily conceded the absolute truth of all the allegations. I'm not convinced of that, and I think that would be a false conclusion to draw. I am concerned about this particular case. I am concerned about the tribunal's findings, and I will certainly want to be getting to the bottom of it.
Mr Mayor, the reason for raising those 34 is that the tribunal found that in Ms Howard's case there was a practice of redacting and taking out, in effect falsifying an internal document, because that's what it amounts to. It amounts to falsifying a document. If someone has found there's been discrimination and they're told to take it out, that in my mind is falsifying a document. If there are 34 other cases that have gone to tribunal, I think it's incumbent upon you to review those cases to check that in those 34 cases the same practice did not go on as well. Will you commit to do that today?
Yes, certainly. I think we need to get to the bottom of what's been going on in such cases. I repeat what I said to the committee just now. I am dismayed by this case.
And Mr Mayor, can I ask you to actually make sure that something is set up immediately so there is some element of independence in this review, whether it's MOPIC or your ethics panel or whatever, but to do it with utmost urgency.
I agree very much with the sentiment, Joanne. We will discuss the best way forward.